Hi there, how's everyone doing? We're happy to have you all tuning in from around the world. If you're new here, welcome to the family. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Now to breaking news, Israeli media reports that the military has detected a missile launch from Yemen heading toward Israel.
We had just come out of a shelter after being forced to take cover due to a ballistic missile launched by the Houthis.
Netanyahu is preparing for a confrontation with Yemen and has threatened to use banned weapons. He's also announced a list of Houthi targets.
Come on, we're waiting for you.
Meanwhile, Sana'a warns the UAE of severe consequences. International airlines continue to cancel flights to Tel Aviv airports until further notice.
In a surprising move, Britain announces support for Yemen, raising questions about the motives and what's being offered in return.
Tel Aviv has revealed details of an operation targeting Yahya Sinwar and other masked figures. At the same time, an Emirati plane transported 600 Gazans, marking the first step in a broader relocation plan. Tensions flared between Macron and Netanyahu, with Netanyahu accusing the French president of backing Palestinian factions. Trump has reportedly distanced himself from Netanyahu and reached an agreement with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman to end the war. Qatar, for its part, remains optimistic about a ceasefire. Syria has accepted Trump's five-point plan, which includes normalizing relations with Tel Aviv. Elon Musk has given a substantial gift to Saudi Arabia, while Iran has warned that any attack on its nuclear facilities will be met with a strong response. The Iranian president vowed retaliation against Trump in Tel Aviv, suggesting a response that could shake the world. Behind closed doors, a surprising twist. What caught Trump's attention most in the Middle East wasn't Netanyahu MBS or MBZ, but a third party, the Houthis. Washington, after years of conflict with them, has now labeled them as formidable fighters, according to Trump. In a dramatic development after 7 weeks of military escalation, the United States suddenly announced a ceasefire with the Houthi movement. Reuters quoted 4 Pentagon officials confirming that the shift began in early May, when the Houthis started reaching out to Washington's allies in the region. 2 of the officials said the Houthis could no longer endure the pace of U.S. airstrikes. Meanwhile, an American official told Task and Purpose that the Houthis fired on a U.S. F-35 jet during a recent operation. The missile, dubbed Death Hunter, reportedly came close enough that the pilot narrowly escaped. The official said it would have been a disaster if the United States had lost an F-35 to the Houthis. On the Israeli side, Hebrew media, especially Channel 2, warned that the coming days would be tough for the Houthis, as Israel's air and naval forces plan to ramp up their responses. Netanyahu's military has called for the evacuation of all Houthi-controlled ports in Yemen's western Hodeidah province. The targeted ports include Hodeidah, Ras Isa, and As Salif, vital supply lines for millions of Yemenis. Israel's foreign minister called the Houthi missile attacks a war crime, citing the need to protect millions of Israelis who were forced into shelters. According to Sputnik, Houthi commander Hazem al-Assad accused Israel's El Al airline and UAE's Etihad Airways of endangering passengers, especially Westerners, by ignoring warnings to avoid Ben Gurion Airport. Most airlines have complied, but those 2 have not. As he put it, they were warned. Israeli media reported that Ryanair has canceled flights to Tel Aviv through June, and tens of thousands of tickets have been voided in the past few hours. The Hebrew newspaper Globe stated that many European airlines are waiting to follow Lufthansa's lead, as it has suspended flights through the end of the month. British airline EasyJet may extend its suspension too, despite previously planning to resume flights after a year-long pause.
In a surprising statement, the UK remains committed to supporting Yemen, particularly in public services and coastal security, under the UAE and Saudi-backed Aden government. Since 2015, the UK has contributed more than £1.5 billion to address the humanitarian crisis.
She added that since 2015, the UK has contributed more than £1.5 billion to address the humanitarian crisis. Meanwhile, back in Gaza, the situation remains dire. Gunfire and bombing echo in the streets. Israeli army radio reported that intelligence is investigating whether key figures, including Rafah Brigade Commander Mohammed Shabane and Abu Ubaida, spokesman of the factions, were in the same underground complex as Sinwar, which was hit in Khan Yunis. Despite high hopes for a successful operation, Israeli officials have yet to confirm whether Sinwar was killed.
Yedioth Aronoth reported that 40 bunker-busting bombs were dropped on Khan Yunis in the attempt, and Israel Today confirmed that a plane from Abu Dhabi landed at Ramon Airport in Eilat to transport 600 Gazans, part of the early phase of the voluntary relocation initiative. Because of strong regional support, a European stance may shift the balance.
After French President Emmanuel Macron accused Tel Aviv of committing disgraceful acts in Gaza, Netanyahu hit back, accusing Macron of siding with Palestinian factions. Netanyahu's office claimed Macron had once again chosen to support an extremist group and repeat its false propaganda, while accusing Israel of committing bloody lies, as they put it. While the Israeli Prime Minister clashed with Macron, Donald Trump added to Netanyahu's isolation by deliberately ignoring him during his first Middle East visit. According to Israel Hayom, a senior diplomat revealed that serious talks are underway between Tel Aviv and various parties to push forward a Qatar-Saudi peace initiative under Trump's sponsorship. The main goal for Trump is to broker a ceasefire in Gaza before the end of his visit. If the ceasefire deal goes through, Trump might meet with Netanyahu. But that meeting isn't guaranteed. If the plan fails, the meeting is off. The proposal includes a ceasefire within days, the release of half the Israeli captives, and the start of negotiations to fully end the war. It also calls for the release of all Palestinian detainees based on previously agreed criteria, the resumption of humanitarian aid and supplies to Gaza, and a full halt to military operations. After a transitional period, Israeli forces would withdraw to the Gaza border. Armed factions would hand over their weapons to an Arab party. Temporary camps would be set up to prepare for reconstruction, and residents would be given the option to leave Gaza. In related news, Steve Witkoff stated that the situation in Gaza is tragic and that Washington is working to improve it. He confirmed he had a constructive conversation with Qatar's Emir and Prime Minister about the issue. Meanwhile, Qatar's foreign ministry spokesperson told Al Arabi TV that the release of soldier Aiden Alexander gave new momentum to negotiations over the besieged Gaza Strip.
The real game changer came when Israel's Channel 2 reported that the US and Saudi Arabia have agreed to end the war in Gaza.
Netanyahu confirmed he would meet with U.S. Ambassador Mike Huckabee to discuss a possible prisoner swap deal. Syria is on the brink of normalization. Politics is a game played by three players. Not all have to lose, but one will certainly sacrifice some cards to stay in play. The meeting between Syrian President Ahmed al-Sharabi and Donald Trump is expected to draw a lot of attention, especially after White House spokeswoman Caroline Leaf confirmed the details of their meeting, which had clear Saudi backing. Trump promised to work with Saudi Arabia to bring peace and prosperity to Syria. Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman praised Trump's decision to lift sanctions on Syria, calling it brave. However, he also gave Syria 5 conditions that, if fulfilled, could allow the country to join Trump's exclusive circle of allies. Sign the Abraham Accords to normalize relations with Israel. Remove all foreign fighters from Syrian territory. Deport Palestinian faction members. Cooperate to prevent the return of ISIS. Regain control of northeastern Syria. Syria reportedly gave an initial agreement to join the Abraham Accords, highlighting Trump's determination to normalize ties with what was once seen as the heart of Arab nationalism. These recent moves are backed by Trump's economic plan, which has boosted his popularity in the United States. According to a Reuters poll, his approval rating on economic issues rose from 42% to 44%, with many Americans feeling less concerned about a potential recession. especially after his visit to Saudi Arabia. Trump visits Saudi Arabia with Elon Musk. During the visit, Elon Musk thanked Saudi Arabia for approving the use of Starlink for navigation and aviation. He also announced plans to supply Riyadh with autonomous vehicles soon. Iran responds firmly. On the other side, Iran's Shura Council warned the International Atomic Energy Agency that any attack on Iran's nuclear rights would not go unanswered. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian, responding to Trump's remarks, said Tehran would never bow to arrogance. He stressed that America has failed to break Iran's will for 47 years and should not attempt to threaten it now. He also called for an end to arms shipments to Tel Aviv, accusing Israel of being the only party actively seeking war. Meanwhile, Qatar made a massive purchase of 160 Boeing aircraft from the U.S., valued at $200 billion, along with MQ-9 drones. Thanks so much for watching. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. At S News, we're committed to delivering honest and traditional news. See you in the next video.